We're back at Red Wilson Field after a rain cancellation, one of many yesterday. The team and ourselves all traveled to Orleans, but unfortunately the rain was too much to bear. The field too flooded, and we all had to turn around, so that game will be rescheduled for some time in the future. Meanwhile, today is a matchup of the Red Sox versus the Mariners. Number 1 and number 2 in the East Division should be competitive. Spirits are high around the field as well. It's draft day in the MLB. We've heard a few names called for the YD Red Sox, unsure about the Mariners, but everybody real excited. Brady Day starting at second. He heard his name called earlier today, so it might be the last time we see him. We'll see about that, but Luke, YD was on a hot streak until a loss a couple days ago, looking to bounce back from that. They haven't lost twice in a row in a very long time, so YD is a very good comeback team, and Cal Steven, who's been really consistent, back again for, I think, the most starts of any pitcher on the team.
Yeah, it was the opening day starter. This is already his third time that he's going to start a game this season against Harwich, and so for Cal Steven, he's certainly seen these Mariners a good amount. Like you said, he's been a rock-solid guy for YD starting games, getting a few good innings out of him to start things off throughout this season. He'll look to do the same today against a team that YD continues to contend with atop the East. Red Sox have a little bit of a lead right now over Harwich as they stand 3 points clear of the Mariners with a game at hand, but can always make that lead a little bit bigger than what it is, give your team a little bit of extra insurance that will never hurt you. So obviously a big game here against a divisional opponent for YD.
Absolutely, Luke. Other than that, things are pretty settled. Ryan Jackson also at shortstop today. Vieira is on the bench. Paxton Kling, another recent addition, out in center field. There's still a few injuries going through the lineup. RJ Austin is still on the bench. Hines is also on the bench, but might come off later. Leading things off today for I was about to say Hyannis. For Harwich will be Jacob Humphrey, who is another player who's YD has seen before. These teams have already met a couple of times, a division rivalry, and we're all set to get things started here with Humphrey stepping up to the plate. Regular infield, no shift, and the first pitch on the way. Hits him on the back. Jacob Humphrey will take a base. That didn't take much time at all. Steven giggling a little bit about that start.
Yeah, clearly just a slip there from Cal Steven. Looked like he might have been trying to throw something off speed, and it just got out of his hand wrong and didn't come in too hard, didn't shake up Humphrey, but now he'll have to pitch his way out of a leadoff base runner.
Brings up Daniel Rivera, a D2 guy, one of a few in this league. And the first pitch to him is outside for ball 1. Rivera attends Southern New Hampshire University, the Penmen. Was a D2 All-American in 2023. Now as a runner aboard, trying to get the scoring started early, no outs. Pick off to first. Steven continuing to check on his runner on a beautiful sunny day at Red Wilson Field, opposite weather to yesterday. Runner goes, the throw from Dykstra is not in time. Had a chance, but Humphrey just snuck his hand around the tag from Day. And Harwich has a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, close one there from Dykstra. He's got a good arm behind the plate, but a nice slide, too, going to the back part of the bag there.
Brings up Ethan Anderson, another recent addition to the squad. The first pitch to him is low for ball 1. Steven yet to throw. Excuse me, it's still the same. It's still Rivera, counts 3-0. Steven yet to throw his first strike. Humphreys with a big lead over at second. And a fastball finds the zone for strike 1. 3-1 to Rivera. Swung on and missed. It's a full count. Steven really taking his time. Some pitchers with the clock like to work quickly. He is making the most of his 20 seconds. The payoff, runner goes, and it hits him. So Harwich does not have a runner advance. That was actually called a foul ball. It went off the knob of the bat. So close. We've seen a couple of those that look like they hit the elbow, and it sounds like it's the elbow guard, and instead it's just an unlucky foul ball for the guy in the box. Count remains 3-2. Humphrey forced to retreat back to second. Another payoff on the way. Misses below the zone. Ball 4, runners on first and second.
Yeah, I think that's the third game in a row now where we've seen a foul ball off the end of a bat. It could have been a hit by pitch, but results at the end of the day almost helps Cal Steven because Humphrey probably would have had third if he was permitted to steal that base, but the ball going off the bat, he was forced to go back. Did walk him, so now they're on first and second, but he does have that force in play.
Now Ethan Anderson is at the plate with 2 runners aboard. Pickoff towards second. The runner's caught in the middle. Humphreys in a rundown. Darby chasing him back, and the tag is put on. Tag back at first, and it's a double play for the Red Sox. The Mariners base runners both got caught in no man's land, and that defense from YD shows up to clear the bases.
Wow, that's an extreme rarity to see a double play like that on a pickoff, but Cal Steven gets a gift from his defense. It was a good move to get the lead runner, but also getting the man on the back end, and now he could end this inning with just one more pitch.
It was a really good pickoff move from Steven. I don't think Humphreys knew how closely he was being guarded. This one on the ground towards short. Jackson fumbles it. So instead of facing the minimum, Cal Steven now has another runner aboard. Jackson, who's been so good in the field so far, just stumbled. That was a slow rolling ball. It would have been a close play regardless because the grass ate that up. 2 outs now, runner on first. Mason Guerra out of Oregon State takes ball 1. Anderson takes quite a sizable lead over at first. Steven checking him out. The 1-0 on the outside half of the plate for strike 1 counts even up. The 1-1 falls just below the zone. Guerra, the Beaver, sporting the orange and black accessories representing his college team. Anderson still a big lead on first. Dub Gleed playing defense. The 2-1 pushed foul into the fence. It's 2-2. Guerra's back into the box. Steven checking his runner again. Haven't seen a pickoff towards first. There's 3 on the left side of the infield. The shift is in play. The 2-2 hit well into left field. That's a base hit. And it's fumbled. The runner's going to advance from second to third. And the throw comes in left field to second. Really interesting out there. That's Nathan Archer out in left field. A rare mistake from him. Archer is an outfielder by training. We've seen Coach Pickler put a couple of guys in left field who aren't necessarily left fielders, like RJ Austin. Brady Neal was even out there. But that was just another mistake. 2 errors now in the first inning, and Harwich has a runner on second and on third. The first pitch ball is outside. That's Devin Obie at the plate out of Duke. One 1-0 with 2 outs, the Red Sox, after a disastrous first inning. Grounded up the middle. Backhanded by Day, but he can't squeeze it. Harwich first to score. They have runners on the corners, and it's 1-0 Mariners.
Next up, out of Virginia, number 26, Casey Saki.
Tough defensive inning after that nice double play turn from YD. It's just a lot of mistakes. I don't know if that one's going to be called an error. That was pretty tough there on Brady Day, but a lot of mistakes here in this first inning from the Red Sox, and they've been punished for it now as they've given up that run.
Brings up Casey Saki. Plays at UVA. He takes a first pitch ball below the zone. Harwich already leads 1-0 thanks to 2 errors by the Red Sox. This one could have ended quickly. Instead, YD now faces a deficit, even after turning that really solid double play. We've talked a lot about the YD defense this year, Luke, and the importance of keeping a 0 in that error column today. Clearly that's not the case. Counts 1-1 to Saki. Jam foul back into the fence, 1-2.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious that your chances of winning go way up when you put a 0 in the error column, but for YD, it's almost felt like one way or the other. If you don't make any errors, you win the game, and if you do make errors, that's when you start to see more losses.
Steven finds the outside corner, called strike 3. That retires the side. A disastrous defensive inning has the Mariners ahead 1-0. We go to the bottom of the first, and the Red Sox try to battle back. You're watching YD Baseball on the Cape League broadcast. Back for the bottom of the first, Nathan Archer leading off for the Red Sox as they try to bite into Harwich's 1-0 lead. Chandler Marsh on the mound. Archer has been here since day one for the Red Sox. He has been in this leadoff position quite a bit thanks to his speed. He has power as well. The first pitch to him is swung on and missed for strike one. The 0-1, Archer checks his swing, and it rides high. It's 1-1. 1-1, yanked foul back towards the fence. Archer quickly down in the count. He has Ryan Jackson on deck, who's had a really good start at the plate since joining the roster a couple of days ago. The 1-2 falls into the bottom of the zone. Nathan Archer does not agree with the call, and it's a called strike three. He looked incredulously back at the umpire.
Yeah, he wasn't too happy. It's a breaking ball, and kind of depends in the umpire's view. That's a ball that when it crosses the plate, it's in the bottom part of the zone, and maybe it looks like it's on the ground after that, but where it crossed home, it was hittable.
Jackson pushes the first pitch hard but foul up the first base line. The 0-1 now popped up, foul again up the first base line. Jackson just going opposite field right now, but can't find fair territory. Faces an 0-2 count with one out. Check swing does not go around, 1-2. Foul to the same place. Some kids running out of the way. Jackson's just a little late on these. He's seeing it well. The contact is solid, just not pulling it around. Another 1-2 on the way. Grounded again, foul this time up the third baseline. Really close to being fair. Could have spelled extra bases. Instead, the count remains the same. Ball 2 just falls off the plate. A similar looking pitch to the one Nathan Archer was just rung up on the opposite side. The 2-2 outside again, and Jackson has the count full. Ball 4 below the zone, and Ryan Jackson will be the first base runner for the Red Sox. And Xander Darby's coming up to the plate in the 3 spot.
Free bags haven't been a big issue for Chandler Marsh throughout his time here on Cape Cod necessarily, but he has dealt out a few of them, and that time I think, though, just a pretty good at-bat from Jackson to keep a keen eye and take a couple of near misses.
Darby tries to lay down the bunt, pops it foul instead, and it's 0-1. Darby checks his swing and did not go around on a pitch that looked close to the zone, but instead just below. It's 1-1. Called strike 2 again at the bottom of the zone. Looks like this strike zone will be played lower than normal today, especially for the tall Xander Darby. That one was tough to swing at. It's 1-2 with 1 out. And ball 2 rides high and away. Marsh swung on and missed. Runner goes. And Jackson is thrown out. That ends the inning. A double play from Harwich. And they still lead heading to the top of the second. It's 1-0 Mariners. You're listening to YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Top of the second, Kennedy Jones leading off for the Mariners, who made it all the way down to the 7th spot in their lineup. First inning was really an interesting one from the Red Sox in the field. Highest of highs, lowest of lows. Cal Steven back out for his second time around. The first pitch is in there for strike 1. The Red Sox have already dug themselves into a hole with their defense, trying to play clean here as ball 1 sails above Jones' head.
They did get punished, but also it feels like you might be a little bit gifted here with the situation you're in.
The 1-1, a big cut and a miss, and Jones is down in the count.
You feel like, given the number of base runners that Harwich had in that first inning, you're probably lucky to only be down 1 right now.
The 1-2 popped up into foul territory. Gleed coming over, has a play on it maybe, and makes the grab right before the bleachers in style. Snaps it out of the air, and that's out number 1.
Nearly lost it out of the glove there.
Put a little flare on it, flicked it upwards as he was grabbing it. Fresh count for Brian Arendt. Catching for the Mariners today. Steven into the wind. And it's a first pitch ball. The 1-0 ripped into center field, running back on it. Kling, and it's out of here. Brian Arendt sails it over center field. Kling stopped running after a couple steps, and a solo shot puts the Mariners ahead 2-0. That ball was crushed off the bat.
Yeah, just a ball that caught a little bit too much plate, but a really nice swing put on it by Arendt to go out and send that one over the center field fence. That shows a nice hitting approach to go up the middle like that and to send out a no-doubter.
Ali Camarillo has faced YD this season. He's hitless in 3 at-bats. He has scored a run, however, because he's walked once. 4 plate appearances total. This is his 5th, and he's down 0-1. Camarillo's readjusting, steps out of the box after fouling off the second pitch. He's down 0-2. Stevens seems to be continuing a trend of a lot of Red Sox pitchers this season, starting off shakier before settling in later innings. Today, YD already down 2-0 here in the top of the second. Popped foul again towards foul territory. Gleed underneath it, and an identical play to out number 1 is out number 2. YD needs just one more out to retire the side, and Harwich back to the top of the lineup already with Jacob Humphrey, who was hit by pitch on the first pitch of this game. He shows bunt and pulls back. Ball 1. The 1-0, big cut and a miss, count evens up.
This has a similar feel to Cal Stevens' first outing of the season against Harwich on opening day. Remember, he dealt out some free passes early, got hit around a little bit.
The 1-1 can't find the inside half of the plate. It's 2-1.
And then as that outing got along, he got significantly more confident. And, you know, when he neared the end of that first appearance, he was as strong as ever.
The 2-1 low again. It's another ball in the count for Jacob Humphrey. He's already reached once today on a free pass. Steven at risk of giving up another one here. The 3-1. Hammered towards left field, right into the glove of Nathan Archer. On a line, but not in the gap. That ends the side. Harwich tacks another one on off the solo shot from Brian Arndt, and we head to the bottom of the second. It's Perri, Kitei, and Luke West Poley on the Cape League broadcast. Dub Gleed leads off for YD in the bottom of the second. They trail the Mariners 2-0. And Marsh deals a first pitch strike, sweeps across the plate onto the outer half. Gleed out of UC Irvine has been a really good defender for YD over at first base since he's moved over there. The count's 1-1. He hit a walk-off sacrifice fly for YD their last time at home. The 1-1 bounces out of the glove of Arendt, but he keeps it in front. It's 2-1. Gleed just finished up his sophomore year, a native of Ladera Ranch, California. The 2-1 pushed foul off his foot. It's 2-2. During the break, beloved YD catcher Will King was just drafted. Cheers from the dugout, hugs from the parents. Really nice sight to see. Glee puts it on the ground towards second, picked up by Rivera and put out for out number 1. It was hard hit bouncer, but Rivera fielded it cleanly, and Harwich has the first out of the inning.
Intently waiting on the official team announcement here in the 20th round, final round of the MLB draft. Good showing for YD. Had 11 players picked coming into today.
One of them, Brady Day, is at the plate right now. Just took a strike on the outside corner.
He was the first of 4 current players, or I should say 5 current players, counting Eric Yost, of course.
Dylan Simmons also played this
and
year.
Dylan Simmons, yep.
The 1-1 hit well out towards right field, going back to the fence, and it's gone. Brady Day's solo shot. That ball was crushed, and Day deserves it, celebrating draft day by putting YD on the board. The score is 2-1.
That's that draft day energy. His first at bat since being picked by the Atlanta Braves in the 12th round earlier today during batting practice, and hammered it out to right field. And for Brady, his first of the year.
Brings up Paxton Kling with the bases empty, 1 gone. Ball 1 is above his head. Kling, out of LSU, just won a national championship and made his way over here to Cape Cod. It's just his second game in a YD uniform. The 1-0 pushed foul behind the bleachers on the right side. The 1-1 falls away. Kling is ahead. Harwich still leads 2-1, but that home run from Day cut the lead in half. Ball 3 misses inside. Kling could be the second free pass of the day from Chandler Marsh. The 3-1 off the plate, and Paxton Kling will take a base, bringing up Jenkins Cowart, who we haven't seen in a long time. He's been battling some injuries, back in the lineup for the first time today in over a week. And the lefty out of East Carolina is looking for some redemption at the plate. Jenkins Cowart has been the loudest guy in the dugout since he got here. He is just an absolute cheerleader for the rest of his teammates. He brings the energy every single day, even while he was hurt.
This is his first time in the batting lineup since June 28th. It's been about 2 weeks.
The 0-1 swung on and missed. He's down 0-2.
And the official announcement just made, 609th pick by the Atlanta Braves is Will King. Second Atlanta Brave from this YD Red Sox roster.
2 Padres as well, Garcia and Yost. The 0-2 hit into left field, and Jenkins Cowart has a base hit. Kling rounds second, steps back, and Jacob Jenkins Cowart makes his return in style. YD, 2 runners aboard, 1 gone for Casey Cook.
It's just a beautiful base hit, going to the opposite field, getting through that ball, and a really nice way to come back from injury into the batting lineup. Looks like he never left.
First pitch to Casey Cook popped up and out of play. Cook just 6 hits on the year for YD. He's had a bit of a tough time at the plate, but he stayed in the lineup thanks to his athleticism out in right field where he is today. The 0-1 is a curve, almost falls above the head of Arendt, but he pops up and keeps it in front 1-1.
Says a little bit unrelated, but you want to know the weirdest thing about who was drafted right behind Will King? DJ Uigalele, the quarterback at Oregon State.
I saw that name pop up on the screen.
I had to Google it to make sure it was the same guy, and it is. It is him.
Does he play baseball?
Apparently. Transferred over from, Clemson, right, in the offseason. Was the starting quarterback for the Tigers this past year.
2-1 sails high, it's 3-1. Got a little Kyler Murray vibes.
A little bit.
Going on. The 3-1 outside, and the bases are loaded.
Kyler Murray, I believe, is a former Harwich Mariner, if I'm not mistaken.
That would be a crazy crossover because I had no idea he played
He
in this
is, yeah. Played for the Harwich Mariners. Spent one summer here. As you're going to see a visit out to the dugout with Connor Dykstra coming up to the plate. But, yeah, back in 2017, in between Kyler's 2 years playing baseball at Oklahoma in 2017 and 2018, he played for the Harwich Mariners, played 16 games for them. Had a bit of a rough year, hit 170 over the summer, but hey, I mean, he made it out here, and now he's doing his thing in the NFL.
Kyler Murray, however, was drafted very high in the MLB draft, not in the last round, but chose the NFL route regardless. He's been doing okay in Arizona.
He was a pretty high pick, I think, too.
I think he was the first round, maybe.
Yeah, I think he might have even been top 5.
Dykstra swings away at pitch number 1, and it's strike number 1.
He was picked 9th overall by Oakland in 2018 in the MLB draft before the NFL in 2019.
The 0-1, the check swing pushes it foul, and Dykstra's down 0-2. Still just 1 out. The only thing Dykstra wants to avoid here is the inning-ending double play with the bases loaded. But he holds off on ball 1, high and away. Dykstra out of British Columbia, Chilliwack. I love saying that word. The 1-2 check swing goes around, and Marsh gets a very important strikeout, but that turns over the lineup for Nathan Archer.
Next up, out of Bowling Green, number 17, Nathan Archer.
Archer 0 for 1 today. He was rung up in the first inning, disagreed heavily with the call that was below his knees. The first pitch to him, grounded up the middle, and it doesn't get through the infield. A really nice play by Ali Camarillo coming over. I thought that had a chance. Instead, gets it off the hop. And the out is made at first. YD leaves the bases loaded, but they did add 1 on the solo shot from Brady Day. It's 2-1 Harwich as we head to the top of the 3rd on the Cape League broadcast. Daniel Rivera, the two-hitter, leads off for Harwich. They've kept their lead 2-1, and Cal Stephen is back on the mound, trying to go through his first inning with no runs added. And a first pitch fastball down the middle for strike one. Ball one misses low. Rivera resets himself by stepping out of the box for a second. Now he's back in. Called strike two on the bottom part of the plate. Rivera batted .365 in 2023. As he pushes that one foul, count remains 1-2. His most impressive statistic is the fact that he had 50 stolen bases in 54 games played. And at any level, that is very, very impressive. The 1-2 popped foul out of play. The 1-2 bounces away, and the count evens up. Ethan Anderson, the first baseman, on deck. And it's caught in the air off the ground, actually. That bounced once over to Xander Darby, but he picks it up in fair territory and makes the throw over to Gleed. Couldn't tell if it bounced, it did, but Darby with the arm across the diamond.
Next up, out of Virginia.
And that's 1 up, 1 down for the Red Sox in the top of the third. Ethan Anderson reached on an error his first time up. That was right after Rivera and Humphrey were thrown out in the base paths, respectively. Takes strike one on the outside corner. This is Anderson's 6th game with the Mariners. He is 4 for 21 coming into today. He does have 1 home run already. The 1-1 swings on the low ball, strike two. Anderson has a lot of power in his bat. He plays at UVA, where he was a third-team All-ACC selection with 26 doubles and 15 home runs in 2023. The 1-2 foul up the first base line, just bumped. Anderson just racked up the hits, batting .375 total. He had 97 hits in just over 60 games played, 65 games played. Dykstra backhands ball two out of the dirt. It's a righty on lefty battle. The 2-2 popped up and out of play behind the backstop towards the parking lot. Count remains the same. Anderson looking for the 7th pitch of the at-bat.
And Stevens' pitch count, was just going to say, is getting a little bit high right now at 48 pitches right now through 2 1/3.
Into the motion, another 2-2. Just missed the bottom of the zone, and Anderson has the count full. Evenly spaced infield on the edge of that outfield grass. The outfield playing deep. The payoff popped up towards second. Day Camped underneath it, called off by Jackson, who makes the grab, tossing it back and forth between the two of them. That's 2 outs.
Next up, out of Oregon State, number 33,
Yeah, good job by Steven. In a full count, just jam a guy up, and sometimes you're looking for that strikeout in that situation, but if you can get something over the plate that's going to elicit weak contact, that's just as good.
Steven is normally a strikeout-heavy pitcher. He has just one of them so far today through 2 2/3. As the first pitch to Guerra misses low. Ball 2 falls outside to the 2023 All Pac-12 honorable mention. Ball 3 bounces in the dirt, and Guerra has a hitter's count, 3-0. Luke, do you think we'll see the green light here?
I don't think there's any reason not to have it. I mean, don't swing, I don't think, unless you get something that's right down the plate, but especially with the home run already on the board. See, the green light could potentially be on there, but that's a pitch that's painted over the outside corner. It's not a necessarily great pitch to hit, even if it's in the zone. So I think on a pitch like that, you're going to hold in a 3-0.
On the ground, gets through the gap between Jackson and Day into left center. That's a base hit for Mason Guerra. Makes the best of his full count. That ball just smashed on the ground, and Harwich has a base runner in the third.
Hit that ball right into the shift, too, but just squeaked it through.
Harwich has at least one hit in all 3 innings now. They are out hitting YD 4-2. It's the first pitch to Devin Obie is swung on and missed for strike 1. Obie is one of 2 Duke Blue Devils on the roster. The other, catcher Andrew Yu, is not playing today yet, at least. Just finished up his sophomore year. As the 0-1 falls inside. It's 1-1. To the right fielder out of Nashville, Tennessee. Obie bounces it foul, and it's 1-2. He's batting .255 through 17 games played here on the Cape, one of the longest rostered Mariners. Matt Scannell, the only Harwich player with more games played than Devin Obie. The 1-2 outside. Dykstra was going to pump fake towards first. The ball just popped out of his glove. The 2-2 kisses the inside corner, and that is a called strike 3. Steven ends another inning on a strikeout and finally puts a 0 on the board in the third. The Red Sox trail by 1 as we head to the bottom of the third on the Cape League broadcast. Ryan Jackson, the shortstop out of USC, leads off for the Red Sox in the bottom of the third. Cal Steven, his first scoreless inning at the top, and Chandler Marsh returns to the mound and throws a first pitch strike. Jackson is a California native, going into his senior year over at the University of Southern California. The 1-1 popped up towards the foul territory, and Arendt comes over to make the grab and throws it on the sidearm all the way across the inning to toss it around the horn. Jackson just jammed up on that, popped it up behind the plate. I thought it was going towards the infield. Instead, both Marsh and Arendt went chasing over, and Arendt makes the grab for out number 1. Brings up Xander Darby. Darby went down swinging his first time around, and he takes ball 1 here. The Gaucho out of UC Santa Barbara, repping the royal blue as always. Hammers it out towards right field, back to the fence, and it sails out of here. Xander Darby, another solo shot for the Red Sox, and things are tied 2-2. Two no-doubters for the Red Sox have us a tie ball game in the bottom of the third. And Xander Darby has been due. He's been seeing the ball well, hitting it really well lately, and that one just crushed out of here.
Yeah, that one landed on top of the trees out in right center, and 2 first home runs of the year. First from Brady Day, now from Xander Darby. 2 guys we thought would get him.
Gleed jammed into the glove of Camarillo over at short. Popped it up on the missed contact for out number 2. And it's Brady Day, our first home run hitter of the day.
Number 10, Brady Day.
Day back into the lefty box. Hits the first pitch foul into the parking lot. Second baseman out of Kansas State. The 0-1 through the gap into left field, and Brady Day is 2 for 2. That one a single.
Next up, out of LSU, number
It's got to be hard to play a game after, I'm sure, all the emotion and everything that's gone on with a really highlight moment of your career and being drafted. But Brady Day has certainly been locked in and focused since first pitch.
Trying to show the Atlanta Braves that they picked the right guy. Paxton Kling, 2 gone, 1 on. He takes ball 1 on the outside. Day with a big lead over at first. Kling holds off on a first pitch strike. Some disagreement from the crowd here. The count's 1-1. We haven't seen a stolen base attempt for a Red Sox today. It's on the ground and foul up the third base line, 1-2. Kling is playing out in center field today, the LSU Tiger. Just finished his freshman year. The 1-1, runner goes, and he's there in time. That was ball 2 over the head of Kling. Arendt popped up and got a nice throw on it, but it was high to Camarillo, and Day slid in underneath. First stolen base of the day for the Red Sox.
Can sniff out a breaking ball on one of those steal attempts, that's going to give you a lot better chance of swiping that bag. And Day got a good jump. That breaking ball helped him out, and the throw was high.
The 2-2 push foul, and the count remains the same. YD stranded, the bases loaded in the bottom of the second. Kling pops it up towards the shallow center field, running over Humphrey, has it in the glove, and that is out number 3, but the Red Sox tie things up. It's 2-2 as we head to the top of the 4th. It's Perri, Kitei, and Luke West Poley on the Cape League Broadcast Network.
Top of the 4th inning here from Red Wilson Field. Luke West Poley with Perri, Kitei. Red Sox strike in the bottom of the 3rd and tie things up to a side as we are here in the middle innings. Casey Saki, who's 0 for 1 with a looking strikeout that retired the side in the top of the 1st, leads off. Cal Steven returns to the mound for YD and deals a first pitch ball down low and away. 60 pitches for Steven through 3 innings. 2 runs, 1 earned off 4 hits. 1-0 bounces in for ball 2. The decisive earned run hit was a home run by Brian Arndt over the center field fence in the 2nd inning. Last inning was Cal's cleanest. Went through in just 4 batters, gave up a base hit, but that's it, 2-0. This one golfed out towards center field. Backing up on it, Kling, short of the warning track, he makes the catch. 1 gone in the top of the 4th as Kennedy Jones makes his way in.
Next up, out of South Carolina, number 27, Kennedy Jones.
Future South Carolina Gamecock by way of UNC Greensboro. Kennedy Jones popped out in foul territory, one of 2 to do that in the 2nd inning to Dub Glee, the YD first baseman. First pitch is in there for strike 1. MLB draft has concluded. Congrats to all the YD players that were selected. There were a lot of them as the 0-1 bounces in for ball 1. Don't have an official count on the number of alumni that have been picked. Have to pick through some of those later rounds to get that final tally. There's 11 of them coming into the day. The 1-1 misses low and away for ball 2. Nick Judas was the first current member of the Red Sox from this season to be selected. That one bounces in for another ball. Judas was drafted by the New York Yankees, the big pitcher out of Louisiana Monroe. Was followed up by a 12th round draft choice. Brady Day was picked by the Atlanta Braves. Steven nods twice. The 3-1 to Jones on the way. and it gets away ball 4. So that puts a runner on first with 1 out. And we will see Brian Arndt, the home run hitter, come up to the plate for the second time.
Number 11, Brian Arndt.
So after Brady Day, who was drafted at the beginning of batting practice today for YD, Dylan Simmons, who played for the Red Sox at the beginning of the season, the Pitt Panther, was selected. And 2 final draft picks to round it out for the Red Sox, as Hector Garcia was drafted by the Minnesota Twins. First pitch comes up high for ball 1. 3 final draft picks, I should say. Eric Yost was also chosen by the San Diego Padres, and Will King picked by the Atlanta Braves. Steven out of the stretch. The lead is very small on first base by Jones. And that pitch drops low. 2 balls, no strikes. Can tune in to see some pretty fun reactions. Of course, there are cameras everywhere at these fields here on draft day, and so I did see the reaction on the Cape League social media, which was posted as time is called. Hector Garcia's phone call with the Minnesota Twins was captured on video. Pretty interesting and fun thing to take a look at. We got to witness Will King's interaction with his friends and family who are here. His family's been here all summer, but he actually had a couple of friends, too, that have just been here for a few days, and they got here right at the right time. Pitch is in there for a strike. 2-1 to Arndt. Steven kicks and deals. Tapper foul. Every year and around this league, this is a time for celebration, of course, but this is also looking in terms of what the actual on-field product is going to look like for some of these teams. Things are going to change now over the next week or so with some guys coming out. That'll mean some new guys will come in as the pickoff move is made over to first. At the catching position for YD, Ryan Stafford, who's currently with Team USA down in North Carolina, is still available to come back and play for the Red Sox later this season. One's lifted up foul. Then, of course, Connor Dykstra, who's getting the start today, and Brady Neal, who's on the roster but getting rested after being in the lineup a few days in a row. Those two can catch as well. YD, if you remember back to when Stafford initially left to go to Team USA camp, ran with 2 catchers for a little while until Brady Neal got here following LSU's national title run. 2-2 off the end of the bat, foul, and we'll do it again.
Three foul balls in a row now for Arndt, who homered off an 2-0 count his first time at the plate, this time stretching things out. He's about to face the 7th pitch of this at-bat.
He was ahead 2-0 in this one as well before Steven battled back, and now the count is even. And he rolls it foul up the third base side. Steven up to 75 pitches now, 3 1/3 innings, 42 strikes, 33 balls. Only one of those 2 runs is earned. He has dished out 2 walks and a hit batter, and his defense has committed 2 errors behind him. Two. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him to wave at it, and that's the 3rd strikeout for Cal Stevens, 2nd out of the inning.
Next up, out of Texas A&M, number 30,
Ali Camarillo popped out in foul territory his first time up to the dish. Runner on first with 2 gone. Whitey's got a new man. Gavin Bruni is up in the bullpen. Lefty out of Ohio State. First pitch is blasted out towards left center field. Looks like it's going to be kept in the park, though, and kicked down significantly in the wind around mid-outfield. Catch made by Nathan Archer, and the side is retired. A one-out walk, but no further damage in the fourth inning for Cal Stephen. It is still 2-2 as we head to YD's half. You are watching Red Sox baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Last of the fourth here from Red Wilson Field, and a new pitcher takes the mound. Seventh appearance for the Southpaw Dylan Delvecchio out of Tarleton State. And he will face off against Jacob Jenkins-Coward in a game tied at 2. Jenkins-Coward, first time using the batting lineup in about 2 weeks, and he's 1 for 1. And he pushes this one the opposite way. That's another base hit. He'll take a turn around first, but return, and Jacob Jenkins-Coward is 2 for 2.
Real exciting start for the lefty who hasn't been in the lineup since June. As you said, Luke, picking up where he left off. Maybe even better than he left off.
Jenkins-Coward was hitting .233 coming into the game, had 7 hits and 30 at-bats. And plenty of stat padding done by him through the early parts of this one. First pitch by Delvecchio is taken up high to Casey Cook, who walked his first time up. Cook was walked to bring the bases loaded before a strikeout and a groundout ended the inning. This time he chops it over to second, a 2-ball. Rivera goes to get the lead runner, the spin and the throw, and it is not in time. And they're going to say that Camarillo got off the second base bag before he got the ball. So everybody's safe.
I have to say I agree with that call because looking at him, I actually didn't think his foot was anywhere close to the base. And if they didn't make that call, I think that just would have been too obvious of a mistake. I know there is a little bit of grace given in the double play where if it's close, maybe the toe barely touching the bag, sure, but that time Camarillo really wasn't close.
Steve Englert certainly displeased, but will have to live with it, and now Connor Dykstra is the batter for YD. First and second, nobody out, with the Red Sox threatening to potentially take their first lead. It'll be Dykstra followed by Archer, who was robbed of a base hit his last time up. Dykstra, meanwhile, 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Bunt is pulled back. A move to throw, but no one really covering any bags for Brian Arndt to throw to. 1 ball and no strikes to Connor Dykstra. 125 hitter on the year. Bunt is pulled back once again as the second straight pitch misses upstairs. Dykstra's driven in 3, does have a home run this season, but looks like the small ball is on for now for Scott Pickler. Corners are in for Harwich. This time he goes swinging and he lines it out towards center field, backing up and leaping. The catch made by Humphrey. Runners will bluff as the throw comes in wide to third, but it was done in quick enough fashion to keep both runners on first and second. So Scott Pickler takes the bunt sign off, and Connor Dykstra gets good wood on it, but can't find any grass in the outfield. Back to the top of the order, Nathan Archer is 0 for 2. First and second and 1 gone in the home half of the 4th.
That was really good contact from Connor Dykstra, just unlucky to not find the gaps. We've seen a lot of that this year from YD hitters. They have the power, but have just been putting it on lines.
First pitch is a called strike to Nathan.
Just right to the outfielders. Not even making him work for it.
Oh, 1 pitch on the way. And he takes strike 2. Archer out of Bowling Green, a guy that they expect to hear his name called around this time next year in the MLB draft in 2024. 0-2 pitch. Check swing. As the pitch falls low, they'll appeal out to the base umpire, and Sam Finn says no swing. And the warning given out by Arturo Belmonte to the Harwich dugout that he's heard enough and doesn't want any further protest. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Archer. And pitch. And he rolls it foul. Archer from the suburban Cleveland area. Bowling Green on the other part of the state in Northwest Ohio. And Bowling Green was his only Division I offer. He's made a pretty nice career for himself with the Falcons and here on Cape Cod. The 1-2, this one rolled over on the right side. That's going to be a base hit. Jenkins Cowart rounding third. Here comes the throw. It is wide. Runner going to third now, and it is not in time there. Casey Cook with a strong base running, and it's an RBI single for Nathan Archer. He puts the Red Sox in front. It's 3-2.
What a way for Jenkins Cowart also to start off his day sliding into home. Could have held up and played it safe. The throw ended up being high, but that play could have been close. Took the head first dive, and YD takes the lead.
And so now Ryan Jackson up to the plate, and keep an eye on Nathan Archer at first base. He's got plenty of speed. See if Red Sox will try to send him here to draw a throw. Ryan Jackson is 0 for 1. He walked his first time up, was caught stealing, and also has popped out to the catcher. First pitch is taken on the outer corner for strike 1. Red Sox have their first lead in this game at 3-2 in the YD half of the 4th. Gavin Bruni continuing to warm up in the YD pen. Bunt is down for Jackson. The play at the plate is in time. Like the idea there from Ryan Jackson, but it was perfectly played by Dylan Delvecchio, who flipped it out of the glove. And right to Brian Arndt, who held on. Casey Cook put out at home. They're on first and second now as Jackson reaches on the fielder's choice. 2 gone for Xander Darby, who sent one over the right field fence his last time at the dish.
That's the second time this year we've seen a runner out on the squeeze play at home.
This one lifted out towards left center field. Jones coming over on it, and he makes the catch in the left center gap. If that ball flew straight, could have spelled trouble, but tailed away just enough towards left field that Jones had it, and that ends the inning. But the RBI single from Nathan Archer puts YD in front for the first time in this game, and the Red Sox lead it 3-2 as we head to the fifth. We'll see a YD debut as Gavin Bruni makes his way to the bump when we return. You're watching Red Sox baseball on the Cape League broadcast. Cape Cod Healthcare is proud to be the official healthcare sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, and with 6 convenient urgent care locations across Cape Cod from Falmouth to Orleans, we're ready to treat a wide variety of minor illnesses and injuries so you can get back to your regularly scheduled summer plans quickly. Open daily with no appointment needed and staffed by board-certified ER providers. View wait times at capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care, minor emergencies, major attention. Top of the 5th inning here from Red Wilson Field, and it is the first appearance of the season for the Ohio State Buckeye left-hander. It's not Landon Beidelshees. It is his teammate Gavin Bruni, number 33 in white, who appears for the Red Sox for the first time this season. Bruni this season at Ohio State, a 5-3 record, 4.87 ERA across 14 starts. 57 1/3 innings pitched. He walked 42 and struck out 73 hitters. Face off against the top of the order for Harwich. His team with a newfound lead, 3-2, YD in front in the 5th. As the first pitch comes in on Humphrey for ball 1. He's already been hit by a pitch today. That came back in the 1st. Paints the black on the 1-0 offering, and Bruni deals his first strike of the season. One lifted up, right side of the infield. Slow movement over to it and foul ground. The catch made by Gleed. And that's the first out of the inning.
Gleed's had a lot of action over there in the foul territory on the right side, just showing that these YD pitchers getting nice pop-up soft contact, making it easy, just like that one.
Daniel Rivera, who was 0 for 1, with a ground out to third and a walk now at the plate. First pitch on the way, sails high for ball 1. Ball and no strikes. Rivera swings and misses at the 1-0 offering. That's a ball and a strike to him from Gavin Bruni, the Scarlet Glove for the Ohio State Buckeye out of Alliance, Ohio. That one up high for ball 2. Alliance nearby to Canton, home of the Football Hall of Fame. 2-1 pitch is high for ball 3. Gavin In 2021 was the #1 high school player out of the state of Ohio, elected to stay in the Buckeye State and play his college ball in Columbus. From the line, the 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Maybe got Rivera to chase a little bit upstairs, and the count is full. Three balls and 2 strikes. Bruni kicks and fires. Breaking ball up, ball 4. And so Rivera is put on base for free for the second time.
Next up, out of Virginia, number 38, Ethan Anderson.
And that brings up Ethan Anderson, who has scored one of Harwich's 2 runs in this game. First pitch on the way is zipped low and away for ball 1 from Bruni. At the final line on Cal Steven in just a second. Small lead over there on first from Rivera, but Bruni will throw over anyway. Cal Steven goes 4 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Purdue Boilermaker passes the ball off to fellow Big Ten mate in Gavin Bruni. We'll snap over to first once again. Runner is leaning. The 1-0 pitch is hit pretty well out towards center. Kling going back on it, and at the wall, he makes the catch. And that's out number 2 as Rivera trots back to first.
That looked really good at the bat. It's out of the park anywhere else except for center field. Nice job tracking it by Paxton Kling. That ball was inches away from the fence.
He's been a wall out there defensively. He's been pretty strong in the couple of games YD has seen him out in center. Made his debut a couple of nights ago before the rainout in Falmouth for the Red Sox. Paxton Kling out of LSU. Mason Guerra at the plate. And the throw down, they got the runner and a run down. Jackson chases him back, tosses to Gleed, the stumble and the tag applied. And Bruni gets through his first inning, facing the minimum. Second time we've seen runners picked off for Harwich. The first resulted in 2 outs. This time YD only needed 1, and 3 batters came to the plate. And there wasn't any action outside of a walk here in the top of the 5th. Halfway home from Red Wilson Field, it's still 3-2 as we step aside. You are watching YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Bottom of the 5th inning, and Dub Gleed leads off for YD. It's been a busy day for Dub defensively. On the offensive side of things, he's 0 for 2. YD leading 3-2 in the bottom of the 5th inning. Delvecchio returns to the mound. The first pitch is lined the other way, base hit. Dub Gleed gets a knock, his first of the day. And YD off and running in the 5th inning. Brady Day, who's 2 for 2, swinging a very hot bat since being drafted earlier today, up to the plate for the 3rd time. First pitch today comes down and in for ball 1. One-0 yanked outside. Beautiful stop by Arendt to keep that one from going to the backstop, and it's 2-0. Quite a journey for Brady Day to be from Hampstead, New Hampshire, played at Pinkerton Academy here in New England. Now he lines this one out towards center field. Humphrey going back on it, and he makes the catch as Day is retired for the first time. Took his talents to Kansas State before finding himself here back in New England with YD this summer.
Next up, out of LSU, number 14, Paxton Kling.
Paxton Kling strides up to the plate. Runner on first with 1 out. He has walked and flown out to center field. And he takes down near the chute tops for ball 1. YD with 3 runs off 7 hits so far. Took their first lead in the last inning on an RBI single from Nathan Archer. Check swing on the 1-0, and that's a called strike 1. Painted on the outside corner. The 1-1 in the swing and a miss. He went around on the check swing for strike 2. Paxton Kling, another guy that has made his way to play college a little far from home. Plays at LSU, native of Roaring Springs, Pennsylvania. 1-2. And he takes called strike 3. Delvecchio dots him on the top part of the zone. And there are 2 gone in the inning, but the good news for YD is that one of their best bats in the lineup today, Jacobs Jenkins Coward, is at the plate. He's 2 for 2 with a pair of base hits. Very short at bat his last time. See if he goes first pitch swinging here. And he does, lining it up the middle. The catch made at short by Camarillo. And that ends the inning. Maybe deserve it of a 3rd hit there, but a nice defensive play by Camarillo, who was shadowed a little more towards the second base bag. And we are through 5 innings, YD leading 3-2. Back in a moment. You're watching Red Sox baseball on the Cape League. Top six here from Red Wilson Field. 3-2 is our score with YD leading. Offense has slowed down a little bit in this game after it was very eventful early on. Gavin Bruni back out for his second inning of work in his YD debut, and it's a first pitch ball outside to Mason Guerra, who is 2 for 2 with a pair of base hits. Came up but did not see a pitch last inning. And he takes ball 2. Bruni walked 1. That was Daniel Rivero with 1 out. And then picked him off to end the inning. 2-0. Lifted out towards right field. Coming over on it, Casey Cook will stop and make the catch to his left for out number 1.
That ball carried a lot further off the bat than I initially thought it would. I thought that would definitely drop in front of Cook. Instead, he just took a couple of steps, and it was about waist height when he made the grab.
Yeah, definitely got hung up, and he almost overran it, too, going towards center field. It had some lift that carried it more towards right. It's the first pitch skied high and away to Devin Obie. He's 1 for 2. Obie swings and misses, went chasing in the dirt that time, and it's a ball and a strike. See how long the coaching staff goes with Gavin Bruni here, depending on pitch count, I'm sure. Hasn't pitched in a while, though, as he is here joining the team mid-season. He was signed back in the fall. 2-0 sails high for ball 3. Predominantly as a starter, though, at Ohio State, he certainly got the longevity to take the rest of this game if he needed to. Don't know, though, if the reins will be that loose on him as the 2-1 is fouled back. Season high in innings pitched was 6. He did it 4 times at Ohio State this spring. Against Grand Canyon, Minnesota, UNC Greensboro, and Michigan. Those final 2 being his final 2 outings of the year as Obie spoils the 2-strike offering. Most pitches he's ever thrown this past season, he threw 105. That was his final outing of the year on May 20th, a 7-2 win over the Michigan Wolverines. In 6 innings of 2-run ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Obie, and pitch curls high and away, 3-2. Crowd size is decent, about what you'd expect for a Tuesday night, a little bit smaller than the weekend when Whitey was here last. The 3-2, peel on to first on the check swing, and they will say he didn't go around, and that's ball 4. Second 1-out walk that Gavin Bruni has issued. They've happened now in both of his 2 innings. Wasn't a problem the first time. We'll see if it is now. Casey Saki at the plate for Harwich. Pickoff move over to first by Bruni. Seeing if you can steal an out like you did in the last inning. This one rolled on the ground over towards third. Darby goes to second for 1. Day will eat it up and just hold it. So it's a fielder's choice for Saki, and there are 2 gone. Little bit of draft day trivia, some numbers from last year's MLB draft. Give you an idea of how successful this league is. That 197 alumni of the Cape Cod Baseball League were selected in last year's MLB draft out of the 616 total picks, as there's a pickoff move over to first, representing 32% of the draft class. And roughly 40% of the college players that are in the draft. As the throw comes back over to first. YD had the highest player selected in last year's draft. The streak has been restarted, hopefully, of Cape League alums selected first overall, as Paul Skeens, former member of the Wareham Gatemen, was the first overall draft choice this year. Oh, 1 to Jones in the back door for strike 2. And Bruni can get out of this right here. Just outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's a really nice pitch on an 0-2 count. Trying to get Jones to chase, but you're okay with it if he doesn't. Really well located and a good frame from Dykstra too, just couldn't get the call.
Bruni throws over. One, two. Bounces in. Dykstra will run it up the first baseline. Atmosphere doesn't feel tense, but feels like the crowd is waiting for some reinvigoration of this game here in the 6th inning. 2-2 called, strike 3. Bruni paints that one right over the plate, and that ends the top of the 6th. Harwich has gone scoreless in the last 4. They haven't scored since the 2nd inning. It remains 3-2. YD, they'll come to the plate when we come back. It's Cook, Dykstra, and Archer due up here on the Cape League broadcast. Red Sox half of the 6th inning here in the bottom. 3-2 YD leading. Casey Cook leads off as Dylan Delvecchio is back on the bump. A high knee lift and a first pitch strike to Cook, who has reached base a couple of times now. Once on a walk, once on a fielder's choice. His last time on base, he was thrown out at home on an attempted squeeze play by Ryan Jackson. Cracks the 1-0 pitch foul. Cook has been in the starting lineup a few days in a row now. He's been hitless the last couple. As he watches the 0-2 drop low, ball and 2 strikes. Seven for 49. He's batting 1,000 though against Dylan Delvecchio. up until this one, but that's a called strike 3 over the outside half of the zone. As Delvecchio collects another looking K, his second in as many innings. And that brings up Connor Dykstra.
That breaking ball had really nice movement, just clipped the outside corner and trailed away from Cook. Would have been a tough pitch to hit regardless, but didn't look like a strike maybe out of the hand.
Swing and a miss by Dykstra for strike 1. Delvecchio's breaking ball does look a little bit deceiving, coming from the left side. That time he plunks Dykstra, though. Got him right on the hip. Some yelps out of the YD dugout. I don't know if I can repeat anything that I just heard, but it's a hit by pitch, and that flips the lineup over. That's got to be Jacob Jenkins Coward in there. I can't imagine anyone else who would be talking like that, but it's all in good fun. Archer takes a first pitch strike. He's 1 for 3 with his latest at bat being what serves as the go-ahead hit in this game, an RBI single that brought in Jacob Jenkins Coward. This one lifted out towards shallow left field. Camarillo coming out from short, and he will make the catch, calling off his left fielder, Kennedy Jones. 2 gone. Jones kind of threw up his hands there. Maybe thought that was his ball, but that will bring in Ryan Jackson. Laid down a bunt his last time. Jackson lifts this one out towards right field. OB floating back on it, and he will make the catch to his left to end the inning. Couple of uneventful ones in the middle of this. The 5th and the 6th, both scoreless for each team. It's still 3-2 Red Sox out in front as we head to the 7th here on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Stay with us.
Top of the 7th, and the Harwich home run hitter, Brian Arndt, leading off. Harwich has not scored since the 2nd, and Gavin Bruni returns to the mound, throws a first pitch ball. Arndt 1 for 2 his last time around. He struck out swinging. Goes after the 1-0, pops it up foul behind our heads. It's 1-1. Towards the bottom of the Harwich order in this 3rd time around, Arndt with Camarillo on deck before it will flip back over to Humphrey at the top. The 1-1 runs inside for ball 2. A regular infield. This one's gone pretty quickly so far. Shadows start to creep over the left half of the infield. 2-1, pushed foul, out of play. Harwich started off looking really strong, but YD pitching, as is the pattern, really picked up in these middle innings. Ball 3 sails high, and it's a full count.
Yeah, I really thought Cal Steven was good. That first inning was a bit of a fluke, I think, and had that first pitch of the game hit the batter, then walked one, had an error right behind it. It was just a little bit of a mess, and he gave up that home run. I thought he really settled in well after that.
The payoff, popped foul, hit hard, but out of play, over the hills and into the trees. The count remains the same for Aaron, who's driving up the pitch count on Bruni. He's up to 31 pitches. Coming in his third inning of relief. Another 3-2 falls low for ball 4, and Harwich has a leadoff base runner aboard.
Free pass in every inning for Gavin Bruni so far, but he's navigated around it. I don't think he's looked much different with runners on base. He doesn't seem to be fazed by it. Obviously, he would like to clean up the free passes, but it's his first appearance of the season. He hasn't pitched in a few months. There's, I'm sure, some rust that he's still in the process of shaking off.
Fresh count for Camarillo. He's 0 for 2. Has 2 flyouts as ball 1 runs inside. Camarillo still hitless against the Red Sox this season. Ball 2 is below the zone. To the shortstop out of Cal State Northridge, the native of Chula Vista, California. So many West Coast guys. Strike 1, pushed foul off the backstop.
He's a matador. They all have great mascots, too, all those West Coast schools. It's never anything basic. It's always something a little more fun.
There's also a lot of Latin American and Mexican influence. The Gauchos, an example of that as well, over at UC Santa Barbara. The 2-1 is a fastball, clips the top of the zone, and it's even 2-2.
The Toreros at University of San Diego. Could list off a lot of these, I'm sure. A lot of Spanish mascots.
The 2-2 is a called strike 3 on the outer corner. Bruni gets another one looking, and that's out number 1 in the inning. Beautiful pitch, just paints that side.
Yeah, that's a pitch that you have very little hope of hitting. In a 2-strike count, if that gets thrown and that is located properly, you have to swing at the absolute last moment. And if you're not perfect on it, it's either going to be a swing and miss or a foul tip. And so if you just watch that one go by, Bruni painted that one beautifully. A really nice backdoor breaking ball.
Fresh count for Humphrey. And it's bumped foul out of play. Humphrey 0 for 2. This is his 4th time around. He started off with a hit by pitch on the first pitch of the game. Since then has not reached. Count evens up at 1 as ball 1 sails away from the batter. All right, with a small lead on first, Bruni has not made a pickoff move yet. The 1-1 misses the top of the zone, ball 2.
His teammates warming up in the bullpen. That's Landon Beidelshe's out there.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Bruni really taking his time on the mound as the shadows have fallen over the mound. The 2-1 runner goes. It's flared into foul territory regardless. Two and two. It's bumped into right field on the check swing hit. Cook has it, rounding third, or rounding second and heading to third is Arendt. He's in there safely. Humphrey just got good contact. Looked like he was going to check his swing, but squared it away, and it bumped over the head of Gleed into right field. So runners on the corners for Harwich with just one out.
It's been dangerous territory here at Red Wilson Field all season long. You look at some of those damaging hits that have come at crucial points in games, and it's been hits pretty identical to that one. Stuff just floated up the lines that barely lands fair. There's a lot of grass out there in foul territory in the outfield that the ball can potentially roll into. Whitey fortunate that the runner couldn't advance past third there, and they keep this lead at least for now.
Bruni finally deals a pickoff move over to first, and Humphrey scampers back safely. Daniel Rivera has walked twice today, grounded out the third time. This is his fourth plate appearance. Humphrey again pushed back towards first, no real threat. First pitch finally thrown. It's a ball high and away. Dykstra pops up, punk fake towards first, but ends up tossing it back to Bruni.
Almost looked like a pitch out of sorts there. It wasn't 100% like that, but similar location. It allowed Dykstra to stand up in one motion.
Another toss over to first. Rivera is pushed as far forward in this box as possible. We've seen that a lot today from Harwich. They're kind of crowding the plate. We've seen one of Bruni's strikeouts looking was right on that inside half of the plate, and it was Kennedy Jones, I believe, who turned away from it as if it was almost going to hit him. That drew some protest from the Harwich dugout, who's already been given a bunch of warnings. That one, however, was swung on and missed. It's 1-1.
Yeah, that Harwich dugout is, they're on their final strike. If there's any more chatter from that side, might see our first ejection. We haven't seen an ejection in a YD game this season.
Bruni just playing catch with Dub Bleed over at first. Humphrey forced to retreat. He hasn't taken a very big lead, so he's not actually threatened over there. Count's still 2-1. Bruni winds and delivers. Ball 3.
With that tying run on 30, might be trying to hold the runner close to prevent a hit and run type play to stay out of an inning-ending double play. If you could have that runner take off and then you hit a ground ball, that's going to virtually guarantee that the run scores.
The 3-1 in the dirt, that's ball 4. Humphrey was running as if it was a stolen base, even after ball 4 was in the dirt, but the bases are loaded with just one out for Ethan Anderson. He has reached today on an error by the shortstop Ryan Jackson. Other than that, it's flown out twice, but solid contact last time around. He drove Paxton Kling all the way to the fence. With just one out, even anything to the deep outfield would score a run. Arendt, the catcher, could tack up at third. Humphrey's on second, Rivera's on first. The first pitch to Anderson, flared foul. Bruni calls for a meeting with Connor Dykstra. She's still warming up. Anderson now back into the box. Everyone's set. The 0-1 misses up top. Good vertical movement on these from Bruni. He's just missing around the zone. It's 2-1. And Coach Pickler is out of the YD dugout. It looks like we'll see a call to the pen. Pickler only comes out when he takes the ball. Bruni, a really solid first showing. He's held Harwich scoreless through his time on the mound, but his teammate Beidelshees will likely come in now in this bases loaded jam. We have yet to see him thrown. Now the call to the dugout is made. The second Ohio State lefty of the day will take the bump when we come back after this short break. You're watching YD Baseball on the Cape League broadcast. Still in the top of the seventh, one out for the Red Sox, and Landon Beidelshees has taken over for his teammate Gavin Bruni. He's inherited 3 base runners. And he throws a first pitch strike to Ethan Anderson, who was already in a 2-1 count. That's now 2-2. Beidelshees could end his time at the plate with just one more pitch. Instead, it's flown foul and out of play. No chance on it from Casey Cook. And even if there had been, he might have just let it drop so that the run didn't score. Cook didn't try too hard to get all the way over there. Count remains 2-2. The 2-2 falls inside. YD thought it was a called strike 3. Beidelschi is shaking his head. Daniel Rivera had started jogging towards second unexpectedly, but Beidelschi just didn't see it. Dykstra was pointing over there at first. Get him, get him. Instead, it's a full count. The 3-2 blasted over the bullpen, but in foul territory. We've seen a lot of pop off Anderson's bat. No surprise considering his 41 extra base hits during the 2023 season for the UVA Cavaliers. He's the guy you want at the plate right now. Pushes it foul once again. And Beidelschi just keeps hammering away at the zone.
Interesting that YD's got their corner infielders played back a little bit, so they're playing for double play to the middle infield in this spot.
Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Couldn't get him on the inside, but does it here. Anderson not too happy about that, but Beidelschi comes into the jam and gets the strikeout.
That was a really good frame.
And
I will say that.
Looks like the Harwich manager might be getting tossed. He is walking over to the plate and covering it with dirt right now.
Has he been tossed yet? I haven't seen.
I think I saw the point out before this rampage started, so I'm pretty sure.
We kind of, yeah, I mean, we kind of predicted this off the air a couple of innings ago. He had been barking at home plate umpire Arturo Belmonte basically the whole game. And you remember back once in, I believe, what it was, the third, fourth inning, that they were warned, and then they were warned again later on, and then that was it.
Interestingly enough, however, he is back in the dugout, now just standing there next to the on-deck circle. I'm not really sure how it works in the Cape League. If you get tossed, you actually get tossed, because he hasn't actually left yet. There he goes.
It'd be shocking if you kick dirt on home plate and don't get thrown out, but.
And he is out of here. Harwich is down a coach and 2 outs with the bases loaded. Now, I do think Beidelschi's deserved the strikeout. I don't think it was on that pitch. I think it was on the pitch 3 pitches prior. But there's a first pitch strike to Mason Guerra.
I mean, we obviously, when we're positioned up here and back, we can see the frame pretty good. And that was one of those that was pulled pretty good ways.
Strike 2 at the bottom of the zone. And Guerra faces an 0-2 count with 2 outs. Beidelschi is just 1 pitch away to inheriting the bases loaded and sending them all home. Into the wind, the 0-2 on the ground towards short. Jackson has it, the throw to second is in time, and that's the side. Beidelschi gets it done, and YD heads to the bottom of the 7th. They'll be back at the plate going 3-4-5 with their home run hitter, Xander Darby leading off. Meanwhile, we go to the stretch. You're watching YD Baseball on the Cape League broadcast. Dylan Delvecchio's back on the mound after we just got word that Steve Engler had said some pretty inappropriate things to our home plate umpire after that ejection call. It was maybe one of the biggest outbursts we've seen from a Cape League manager this season, as Xander Darby takes ball 1 on the outside.
Yeah, so if the kicking dirt on home plate antics weren't enough to get thrown out, the words that were said certainly were, and they're obviously not able to be repeated on the air. But Brian Melanson, our very diligent writer, has the
And Delvecchio throws a called strike 1. The 1-1 chopped foul into the Harwich dugout. Bounced into the dugout, hit the back wall, and bounced back out of the dugout. It's 1-2 to Brady Day, 1 out. And Darby in scoring position. The runner goes. The throw is into right field, and Darby is heading for home. Jones will eat it in right field. Darby got a really good jump, likely would have been safe anyways, but the mistake from Arndt behind the plate gives the Red Sox another run. Xander Darby steals 2, and the Red Sox lead 4-2.
that feels like an important run in the game because it has felt now, and especially with the bases loaded, Harwich has had base runners in all these innings. It didn't feel like 1 was going to be enough. Don't think 2 may be enough either, but definitely helps to get that first insurance run.
The 2-2 falls away, a nice take from Day, and the count is full. Harwich finally adds 1 in the error column. The payoff swung on and missed. A really nice pitch from Delvecchio. Day saw it coming in the zone too late, tried to put up a defensive swing and just couldn't get it around in time. 2 outs gone for Harwich, and Paxton Kling at the plate. Kling is 0 for 2 today. He has walked. And Delvecchio feeling really confident in this zone right now. That one a first pitch strike on the outer half of the plate. Kling flares it foul, and there will be no play on it. It's an 0-2 count. Interestingly enough, Delvecchio was a top 30 MLB draft prospect coming into 2022 by perfect game, but the draft wrapped up today and his name was not called. The 0-2 swung on and missed. Delvecchio gets the last 2 swinging, but the Red Sox add 1 on the error from Arndt. And we go to the top of the 8th. It's 4-2 Red Sox at Red Wilson Field. You're watching YD Baseball on the Cape League broadcast. Devin Obie at the plate. He's 1 for 2. Also reached on a walk. This is his 4th appearance. And the fastball from Beidelshees is inside for ball 1. Ball 2 misses away. Top of the 8th, and Harwich has just 6 outs left to work with, facing a 2-run deficit. Chopped back up softly. Beidelshees has it. Goes for the underhand toss to Gleed and puts away out number 1.
Next up, out of Virginia, number 26.
Beidelshees kept that one in his hand for a long time. Jogged all the way almost to first before he made the little toss.
I was hoping he'd go for the one unassisted, but made the safer bet.
Brings up Casey Saki, 0 for 3. Strikeout swinging and a flyout. He did reach on a fielder's choice. And he takes ball 1 away. Saki, another Virginia Cavalier, pops it up into foul territory. Gleed heading over to the bleachers and makes the grab. But the umpire says it was out of play because it was beyond the white line right in front of the bleachers that signals where foul territory ends. So even though he was right there, he tried to lean back so he would stay on the right side of the line. Instead ends up on the wrong side of the line. Saki, another chance at life. It's a ball and a strike, and it's lined foul up the first baseline. That one looked dangerous off the bat. Counts now 1 and 2. Saki was a former ACC All-Freshman selection. Swings and misses, foul tip into Dykstra's glove. Out number 2. Beidelshees gets another strikeout.
Next up, out of South Carolina, number 27, Kennedy Jones.
Fresh count to Kennedy Jones. Nobody aboard. Beidelshees looking to go 1-2-3 in the top of the 8th. The first pitch ball sails inside. Two balls, no strikes to Jones, who's batting .211 on the season through 19 games. And he takes a called strike 1. Beidelshees missing on the inside again. It's 3-1. Jones has 15 hits this season. 5 of them are doubles. 1 is a triple and 1 is a home run. So more than 50% for extra bases. It's skied into right field now. Right at the edge of fair territory, Casey Cook makes the grab. 3 up, 3 down. Beidelshees has a clean 8th. And YD will be at the plate when we return. They go 7-8-9. You're watching YD Baseball on the Cape League broadcast. The Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox want to thank Cape Cod Veterinary Specialists for sponsoring this broadcast. Cape Cod Veterinary Specialists provide premier emergency and specialty care for your beloved companions. They're located in Dennis and Buzzards Bay and are open 24 hours a day. Jacob Jenkins Cowart leads off for the Red Sox in the bottom of the 8th. They maintain a 2-run lead. It's 4-2, looking to tack on some insurance runs after Beidelshees has come in clean in relief. Jenkins Cowart is 2 for 3 today. That third hit robbed on a nice shift from Harwich. And a first pitch ball bounces on the plate. And that liner was caught by Camarillo over at shortstop. That was his last piece of contact. The 1-0 is chopped foul. It's 1-1. Jenkins Cowart attacks really early in these at-bats. He sees something he likes. He is not afraid to swing. One of his hits and his last out were both on the first pitch of the at-bat. The 1-1 swung on and missed, gets past Arendt behind the plate. It's 1-2. Jenkins Cowart had a really good year over at East Carolina. He was a first-team AAC selection. And just gets a piece of this one to stay alive. He spent a lot of time in the outfield here for YD before his 2-week injury hiatus. Today taking it easy on his first game back in the DH spot. Delvecchio winds and deals, and it gets through the gap into left field on the ground. Not even that hard hit, but perfectly placed. Jenkins Cowart is 3 for 4 today. How about that for a comeback?
First 2 at-bats, really good approach, really good piece of hitting, and then that at-bat, something just goes your way. A little bit of a jam shot there, but just snuck its way through. Counts all the same as a base hit, and this is a really, really nice day for Jacob. Wonder if it's going to boost his confidence and send him on a tear here in the second half.
And Cook lines it towards the gap in right center. It drops going back to the fence. Obi running back for it. Jenkins Cowart headed to third. And Casey Cook has a double. YD, 2 leadoff runners aboard in scoring position. And talk about confidence. Casey Cook needed that one.
Man, waited so long for Casey Cook to do something like that. He's shown flashes of it in BP. He's been adjusting his swing. He's been working with the coaching staff. And finally, he gets a breakthrough. He's hit so many balls really hard that you feel were deserved of hits that just found a glove and didn't find their way through. And that ball would not be denied, punched it in the gap.
Attacks early and gets 2 bases for it. Connor Dykstra up with 2 runners in scoring position. He's 0 for 2. Last time around was hit by a pitch. The count's 1-0, goes swinging at strike 1. I was going to say pitch 2, strike 1. It's a 1-1 now, nobody gone. And Dykstra, the 9th spot, is about to turn the lineup over to Nathan Archer, who already has an RBI single today. Dykstra jams up on the pitch, thrown inside, likely would have been ball 2, instead goes swinging. Really hungry for a hit. This time holds off and it gets behind Arendt. Jenkins Cowart taps home plate. Cook advances to third and the Red Sox lead 5-2.
Just got away from him there. It's a tough scoop to make as a catcher and glinted off him on the bounce. And YD is in business here.
2-2 count to Connor Dykstra. All he had to do was stand there. YD gets 1 more on the board. They have a more comfortable lead now. Harwich just 3 outs left in the ninth. Dykstra swings at a pitch inside and manages to get a piece of it. Count stays the same for the catcher out of Canada. Dykstra plays at George Mason. He also attended junior college Galveston. And he swings away, strike 3. Delvecchio tacks on another strikeout. And that brings up Nathan Archer with 1 gone.
Out of Bowling Green, number 17, Nathan Archer.
That's Delvecchio's 5th strikeout of the day, 4 swinging, 1 looking. Nathan Archer's 1 for 4, has an RBI. And the first pitch is grounded into right field. Casey Cook jogs home, and Nathan Archer, his 2nd RBI single of the day. Done a really good job in that leadoff spot. The Red Sox lead 6-2.
Archer's had a good hitting approach, and good to see him bounce back with a couple of base hits. The average has declined a little bit. You remember he was hitting up in the mid-300s at the beginning of the season, down to 260, but a 2-base hit day. He's collected a couple of RBIs as well, and situationally has been really good for YD.
It looks like that might spell the end for Delvecchio. Harwich has a lefty warming up in the pen. Ryan Jackson, the next batter for the Red Sox. Still just 1 out, now 1 runner aboard on first. That's Nathan Archer. Cook and Jenkins Cowart have both come around to score this inning. But Arendt returns to his place behind the plate, and Delvecchio still on the mound. It looks like Harwich is trying to hold out, bring their reliever in the ninth. With Archer on first, they're not threatened as much, trying to give Delvecchio another chance. I imagine with 1 more runner aboard, we might see him pulled then. But Jackson holds off on a first pitch strike.
Yeah, you don't want to eat up your bullpen too much, especially with the amount of cancellations that there have been, and you're going to be playing a lot of baseball in not that many days. You want to save your bullpen as much as you can.
Archer goes on the delayed steal and is caught out at second. He just was caught too far off the bag at first. A nice pickoff move from Delvecchio over to Anderson. Caught in the rundown, tagged out. Now there's 2 gone and the bases are loaded, so Delvecchio might be able to work himself out of this one here.
Got a fist bump from Coach Pickler. Nathan Archer did. Don't think he's too disappointed with what he did.
Jackson on the ground towards third, scooped, and the throw is in time. That retires the side quickly for Delvecchio after that mound visit. But the Red Sox tack on 2. They lead by 4. We go to the top of the ninth. Harwich just 3 outs to figure it out. It's Perri Kitei and Luke West Poley on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Top of the ninth, Brian Arendt, home run hitter of the day for Harwich, leads off as they try to fight back. Took the lead 2-0. Our home plate umpire calls time as Beidelshees was getting into the motion. Now the first pitch on the way is taken inside for ball 1. Harwich put up 1 run each in the first and the second, and since then has been held scoreless by really good YD relief pitching. As the 1-0 gets away from Dykstra, it's 2-0. Beidelshees came in relief of his college teammate Bruni back in the 7th, stranded the bases loaded. The 2-0 popped into center field. Coming in, Paxton Kling is actually not there. It's Brady Day backing up from second. Bit of an optical illusion for me, but Brady Day gets the out all the way in the middle of the outfield. And Harwich down to their final 2.
YD's looking for an Ohio State double. Gavin Bruni is in line for the win, and Landon Beidelshees, if he could close this one out, would be in line for the save as well, coming in when this lead stood at just 2 runs.
First pitch to Camarillo, pushed foul for strike 1.
Or just 1 run, I should say. He came in that top of the 7th inning.
The 9-hitter for the Mariners is hitless today, hitless against YD pitching this whole season. And strike 2 is called on the bottom of the plate. The 0-2 on the ground towards Day. He has it, and the throw easy in time. Landon Beidelshees is making quick work of Harwich, and they are down to their final out. YD, since that first inning when they had 2 errors and allowed 1 run, has looked like such a complete team, and the pitching has been spectacular. Landon Beidelshees is about to take this save for the Red Sox as he deals a first pitch strike. Ball 1 sails away to Jacob Humphrey, the leadoff. 1 for 3, also was hit by a pitch. Big swing and a miss, strike 2. Harwich down to their final strike. Beidelshees has faced just 7 batters in relief. The 2-2 swung on and missed. Harwich goes down swinging, and Landon Beidelshees gets the save. YD continues their streak. They just don't lose twice in a row, Luke.
Now this team has bounced back all season long, and like you said, a very complete performance after those first 2 innings in the field. They really took control of this one, and it was very deserved to pick up this win.
8 strikeouts total for YD pitching, 10 hits to go along with that. The 2 errors in the first inning, 2 errors for Harwich as well. In the battle of first and second place in the East, the first place team comes away victorious, and the Red Sox extend their lead in the East Division. They go on the road to Chatham tomorrow. Luke, the last time this team was in Chatham, they came away with a win. A couple of home runs in that one, was a really exciting one. Bit of a rainy night. Chatham's had a bunch of those as of late. Hopefully tomorrow it won't be the case. But today, a lot of highlights up and down, but 2 first home runs of the season for Xander Darby and Brady Day. And for Brady, this might be the last we see of him. Yeah,
and it's a good way to go out if it is, with that home run and also that nice base hit he had immediately following it. I thought YD looked a little bit shell-shocked in that first inning, but they really flipped a switch and climbed back on the horse. Things were good as they clearly, had 7 scoreless innings to follow up the 1 run in the first and in the second. This was a really good performance, I think, by Cal Steven, who settled into the game nicely out of the bullpen. Gavin Bruni shook off some of the cobwebs after a few months without pitching, and his teammate Landon Beidelshees came up, picked him up in a jam, got those couple of outs that he needed to get out of that big inning back in the 7th, and then he was just completely shut down after that. He was untouchable, as he has been for the majority of this season. Bats got it done as well, brought YD back into this game in the early innings, and then, of course, gave them the lead and the insurance that they needed towards the end of it. Good complementary baseball, like we continue to talk about, and that's why this team has been pretty much front-running the East Division for the whole season.
Tomorrow actually is not Chatham. Thursday is Chatham. Tomorrow is that rescheduled game against Hyannis. That was rained out last week, so YD back on the road. And the start time for that one will be 6 o'clock p.m. Thank you so much for watching. As always, it's been Perri, Kitei, and Luke West Poley from our producer, Anna Tedeschi. Thank you and good night.